What's going on, moviegoers? If you're new to the channel, my name is Christian and welcome to C-Roll Productions. Henry Cavill is returning to the role of Superman in the DCEU, the DC Extended Universe, and I'm so excited. He is in talks. He is in talks to come back as Superman. And I'll be honest with you, the DCEU needs Superman. Superman is a pivotal character in the DCEU. Everything. DC Comics, DC Animation, DC Films. He is a pivotal character. He is the face of DC Comics, in my personal opinion. You put up a picture of Superman and Batman, everybody knows who these two characters are. Now, Henry Cavill as Superman has been astonishing. I love what Henry Cavill brings to the table, and there's so much more to tell with this particular character. So much more stories they can take, so many directions they can go when we're talking a Man of Steel sequel, or even just having him cameo and making appearances in other DC films. He is the hope. He is the light. He gives this universe hope, and I cannot wait to see him come back as Superman, you guys. I am so pumped. His casting is pitch perfect. Every time I see Henry Cavill, I only think of one man, and that's Superman. The same thing goes with Downey. Every time I see Robert Downey, I see Iron Man. He just has that effect on you. You know what I'm saying? It just makes sense. And I'm going to say this in this video, and I want you guys to listen and pay attention. The Snyder Cut is going to play a huge role in the future of the DCU. The Snyder Cut is going to be a huge ripple effect in what's going to happen in the future of the DCU. With this announcement already coming out, then, saying that, Zack Snyder and HBO Max are working together and they're going to be dropping over $30 million to, finish out his vision of his film, which I'm extremely excited for. They are going to make that film canon. I am a huge believer of making the Snyder Cut canon. There's no way you spend close to $60 million just for a director's cut and not want to use the potential of that cut for the future of the DCU. It just doesn't make any kind of sense. So I do believe that they will completely throw out that theatrical version of Joss Whedon's Justice League and make the Snyder Cut canon and move forward going. Because when you think about it, making this canon, the only films that come out after Justice League were Shazam and I'm gonna draw a blank, and Aquaman. That's it. And if you count Wonder Woman 1984, but that's a prequel again. So they can make it canon, and I feel like it would make much sense. But going forward with Henry Cavill as Superman is so exciting, you guys. I am so thrilled. I am so pumped to see what stories we can tell for the sequel and for the future of this character. Now, even if it's just cameos and appearances, like him showing up in Black Adam, him showing up in Shazam 2. I know the whole little cameo he had at the end of the first Shazam movie, that wasn't him, that was a stand-in. But still, it got the tingles. I got excited just to see, Superman walk up in that cafeteria. Like, dude, a Zachary Levi and a Henry Cavill Superman fighting Black Adam, that is something I would crave to see. That would be huge and massive, just like in the DC animated and just like in the DC comic books. It's gonna happen. And I know the Black Adam film is a prequel film, but even still, it's definitely going to lead into the future of what's gonna happen in Shazam 2, because Black Adam, I believe, is supposed to start shooting, I think it was the end of this summer, and so was Shazam 2. But even if it's a prequel, they could still have, hey, call up The Rock, hey, can you come in and do your scenes for Shazam 2. And, I'm so pumped to see what they have in store for Henry Cavill and what the official plans are going to be. Now, as of right now, there are no plans for a Man of Steel sequel. None. I don't know if they're still kind of trying to rework, the whole negotiations of, when he's going to come back or, what films he's going to appear in. But as of right now, there's no confirmation on a sequel to that film. But I'm hyped because they can bring Brainiac. I would love to see a Bizarro in the DCEU, an ugly version of Superman, and it would be so fucking cool. I would love to see something like that. But let's read some of this article from comicbook.com. Henry Cavill's Superman to return in multiple DC movies. Henry Cavill will once again put on the Superman's red cape for DC films. While a report in 2018 suggested Cavill had left the role behind, comicbook.com has learned that Cavill and Warner Brothers have set a deal for Man of Steel actor to reprise his role as Superman in the future DC Comics-based films. This does not mean that Man of Steel 2 is in the works. Instead, the studio will use Cavill's Superman similar to how Marvel Studios used the Hulk, playing supporting roles and making cameo appearances in films headlined by other heroes. The future of Superman films, with or without Cavill, remains to be determined. The studio has not yet decided which films will include Superman. Interesting. I do believe Man of Steel 2 will be officially on the table. They scrapped the whole idea of Supergirl, and I'm so fucking happy about that, because that's a character you can introduce in a Man of Steel 3 potentially. Don't just jump right into Supergirl, you know what I mean? Like that would be a bad decision, personally, to me. What else? Cavill has expressed an interest in returning to the role of Superman in the past. Where we left off with Man of Steel in particular was a guy who had found his place, or was trying to find his place, but had sort of found it by the end. That had committed something which would consider a most horrific sin by killing the last member of his species, Cavill said. That is a place where I would like to travel from with the character, him exploring the positivity of who he is, not necessarily the chocolate box version, but leaning into that. The character who becomes an icon of hope and enjoying that experience rather than necessarily being made uncomfortable by it. Yes, I do think with the future of Superman should be much brighter. Not saying that, Zack Snyder really kind of made his version of Superman really dark, but I feel like there's so much room to grow. You get what I'm saying? Especially as a character from Superman. Like, you take his character arc from Man of Steel and show, what's happened to him in BVS and Justice League and, potentially Man of Steel 2. I want to see a lot of character development. I want to see him use all of his powers. You get what I'm saying? Like the whole cooling breath in Justice League, I thought was pretty legit. I was like, oh shit, yeah, we got cooling breath. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's what I like to see. You know what I mean? Because he has so many more powers. But I'm excited, you guys. I'm really pumped. I'm really thrilled to see Henry Cavill return to the DCEU. I cannot wait. I mean, he's pitch perfect. He embodies the role. He's physically fit. He's one of the most gorgeous men on the planet. And I'm pretty sure you guys can agree, and all you ladies can agree. But I'm excited. But post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about Henry Cavill in talks to come back as Superman in the DCEU. Please post your comments down below, you guys. And thank you for taking time in your day for watching Zero Productions. Peace.
We out.